Alright, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Senegal. Congratulations to them. Alright, so first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Senegal. Congratulations to Senegal for winning the AFCON. Big ups to Mane for calling his team back. And I'm sure they didn't expect to come out with the win. Going back into the pitch, I believe they were just going to, have the penalty and, get everything over with. But to their greatest surprise, Morocco actually missed the penalty. And Senegal will go on to win the AFCON. Like that even the script writers, they didn't see this coming. So this AFCON is being considered to be the best AFCON. And I won't lie, even I myself, I believe this was the best AFCON with how everything ended. Like this was the most dramatic final you will ever see. Like watching this game just reminded me of SS1 versus SS2 matchup. That it was crazy. It was crazy, and a lot of people, were against Morocco. A lot of people. First of all, I'm going to give my positives on Morocco. They did well, in hosting this in this AFCON. They did really well hosting this AFCON. It was a beauty to watch, with all honesty. But at the end of the day, they didn't end things well. A lot of people didn't want Morocco to win. And when some of their fans were being asked why do they think people didn't want Morocco to win, a lot of their fans believed that people didn't want them to win because of people tend to support the underdogs. Tendency to support the underdogs whenever there's a big team facing a smaller team that have made its way to the finals. People always tend to support the smaller team. But Senegal is never an underdog to Morocco. Before this AFCON, a lot of people are rooting for Morocco. Because in this case, Morocco were the underdogs. Nigeria is not an underdog to Morocco. Cameroon is not an underdog to Morocco. Senegal is not an underdog to Morocco. It's just as you have in the EPL right now, you have Aston Villa sitting on third place. Then you have the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, and United, even Tottenham. So are you going to say that because Aston Villa sits third on the table, whenever they get to play against these teams, are you going to then say United are going to be considered as the underdogs to Aston Villa, or Liverpool are going to be considered underdogs to Aston Villa, or Chelsea just because they sit third on the table? No, they are a small team who are currently rising. And what Morocco did that shocked everyone is how fast, how quick they rose. That is one of the things that made Morocco gain a lot of fans. What they did in the World Cup, no one saw that coming. No one saw that. They shocked everyone. And we all know that for a while now, African teams have failed to qualify for the semis in the World Cup, and Moroccans were the first. They became the first team to qualify for the semis in the World Cup. That shocked everyone. Like from nowhere, Morocco just rose and achieved what a lot of African teams could not achieve. That's what got them a lot of fans. Every neutral who was watching this AFCON were behind Morocco. Everyone was. I know currently a lot of teams in countries in Africa are rising when it comes to football. Right now, currently a lot of teams are rising. Back then, we had the likes of Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt. These were the teams that were dominating, African football. And despite that, back then, they were not so. Each team didn't have so many star players. in their team compared to back then. Being a footballer, trying to become a footballer in Africa was very, very difficult because it was not something that was recognized by the elderlies. If you walked up to your parents and told them that, "Mom, Dad, I want to become a footballer," bro, you're going to get spanked on the ass, man. You're going to be scolded at. You tell you to go and read your books, go to school. But they saw football as something that was just recreational. Something that was just something just for fun. They didn't believe that football was like a career, like an actual job. But now they have come to the realization, seeing how much footballers make nowadays. They have come to the realization that okay, this stuff is just more than it's more than a sport. These are actually people's job. These are people's career. This is what people are using to put food on their tables. And now the sport has become heavily recognized across different countries in Africa. And now you can see that a lot of countries in Africa are slowly rising. Look at DR Congo. Like when you talk about African football, can you bring the DR Congo into the conversation? Even Morocco, you can't even bring Morocco into the conversation. When last did Morocco win an AFCON trophy? 50 years. The Moroccans were the ones with the underdog story. Every neutral who was watching this AFCON was rooting for Morocco. They wanted to see how Morocco could rise and end up winning the tournament. For almost 2 years now, Morocco has not lost a game on regular time. Even in the AFCON final, they did still lose the game on regular time. So what made people stop supporting Morocco? Well, it's simple. It's because of the things people saw happening during the Moroccan games. It all started from the game against Tanzania, but people didn't really put much attention because it's just Tanzania. Everyone expects Morocco to beat Tanzania, so it was not really a game. People didn't put much attention on it. But the game against Cameroon, my God, the game against Cameroon, it was so obvious to see the thing going on, the refereeing decisions. If if these referees were not bribed per se, then they have to be very, very, very terrible referees. It's even better to accept the fact that you are bribed than to accept that those decisions were your honest decisions. Those were terrible decisions that were being made by the referees. So bad. The game against Cameroon, there was a clear contact on Mbeumo, which was supposed to be a penalty. But for some reason, how is this not a penalty? Please have a good look at this. How was this not a penalty? But for some reason, it was considered that it was not a penalty. Mind you, there's VAR in this tournament. There's VAR in this tournament. So how was this overlooked? How? Fast forward to the game against Nigeria. The Moroccans committed 22 fouls, and not one card was being issued to any of the players. Not one. Look at this foul that was given against Bassi, which even had him pick up a yellow card. The Moroccan player, you can clearly see that he was dragging the jersey of the Nigerian player, and he went to the ground. And the foul was given against Bassi. Like, if the referees were not bribed, then they were just bad. They were terrible. Like, they shouldn't even go scot-free. They should be fined, sanctioned, any sort of punishment should be given to this referee, because that was terrible. It was bad. Then when we fast forward to the finals, and to make matters worse, the Moroccan officials, the stewards, the ball boys, people who are meant to control the crowds, were allowing ball boys to go and take away the keeper's towels. They did this against Nigeria. The clip went viral and nothing was being done. Nothing was said about it. The issue was not addressed. Then moving on to the finals, they will do the same thing. It even led to the Senegalese second choice goalkeeper to leave the bench and go and protect his keeper. He did everything he could to stop the ball boys and the stewards from taking the keeper's towel, and it even led to confrontations behind the goalpost. Just imagine, in the middle of a game, you see people fighting behind the goalpost. Even the steward, someone who was assigned to manage the crowd and conduct orderliness, was involved in this act. It was so bad and disgusting. Even a player like Hakimi, with his high reputation, was even guilty. Look at the Senegalese goal that was being disallowed. My brother, how is this? Please tell me, how is this not a goal? How was this goal disallowed? Both players have their hands on each other. Hakimi came first with his hand. Are you expecting the player to just stand and watch him? He as well, he also contested, and he won the contest, and he scored his goal. So how was that a foul? How was that a foul? And towards the last minute of the game, Morocco will be awarded the penalty, which, yes, it was a penalty. The Senegalese defender had his hands wrapped on the neck of Brahim Diaz, and he drew him down. Whether it was soft or not, the fact that his hands were wrapped around his neck, and the movement of his hand, it kind of showed that he drew the player back. So whether it was soft or not, the fact that his hands were wrapped around Diaz, it was going to be a clear penalty. But what will provoke everyone, and what will also provoke the Senegalese players, the match is about to be handed to Morocco. It was just disgusting. It was just bad to see. And the moment the Senegalese player decided to leave the pitch, a lot of people were in support of them, because it was just so bad and disgusting to watch. But big ups to Mane. Huge respect to Mane. He was able to call them back. I'm coming back to the pitch. They were like, okay, let's just get this over with. They want to win the trophy, fine. It's all yours. That was their reaction coming back into the pitch. And Brahim Diaz, who was their star player throughout the tournament, was handed the responsibility of winning the game for them. And guess what he does? He tries to pull a Penenka, like last minute of the final. Last minute of the final. Your country has been waiting for over 50 years to finally win this competition, and you decide to pull a Penenka. Like, the penalty was so bad that people were confused why he did it deliberately. Up to now, people are still wondering if Brahim Diaz missed that penalty on purpose. And for some reason, Morocco was giving the award of fair play. How were they giving the award of fair play? Everything this guy displayed in this tournament was the opposite of fair play. I don't know how the Moroccans were awarded the award of fair play. Does it then mean that Diaz missed the penalty on purpose? So now Senegal have their second AFCON. Big ups to them, it was well deserved. There was no better way Mane would have wanted to have his last AFCON. And this will be a final that the football world will never forget. This final is going to go down in the history books. Not even the greatest script writers could write this one. So this is where we come to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please do it by liking and subscribing. I'm on a journey to hitting my first 1K subscribers. If you're new to the channel, do well by heading to the comment section and stating that you're new to the journey. I would also like to get your opinions on the game. Do you feel Senegal deserve to win the trophy? Let me get your thoughts, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now. Peace out.